News.
Joining us now is Consul General of Israel to the Midwest, Aviv Ezra. Good morning. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today.
So what are you hearing about the possibility of a ceasefire or any even discussions of a ceasefire at this point?
Well, you know, a few hours ago, I called my parents back in Israel. They're in their 80s, and they've been in shelters for 9-10 days. And trust me, we all want to get to a situation where we restore calm, where we can restore safety for both Israelis and innocent Palestinians. But at the end of the day, we are talking about 3,500 rockets that have been shelled on Israel in the last 9 days. We're talking about millions in shelters, injured, dead on both sides, innocent civilians. And at this point, I'm asking what we call the WWAD question. What would America do in a situation like this? And I know what it will do. It will exercise its right for self-defense.
We talked to a representative from UNICEF, and I asked that question about Hamas storing its munitions in headquarters in and among the civilian population, but he said, look, in those areas, there is no place for civilians to hide. Do you agree with that? And knowing that, is that more of a motivation for Israel to maybe take a different approach at this point?
You know, I think that is very, very accurate to say the following. Hamas is actually, I think, perpetrating double war crime. On the one hand, it's going after innocent civilians in Israel, and that's pretty clear. They want to kill Israelis. They want to kill Jews. It's in their charter. It's not something that is new for us. They want to annihilate the state of Israel. On the other hand, they're doing a second war crime in which they're shooting from within innocent Palestinians' locations, including schools, including centers of commercial centers, including hospitals. And this is a very well-known fact. And by doing that, they know that we will be very reluctant to respond. We're responding in a very surgical manner. And the last thing we want is to have non-combatant or any innocent civilians hurt. But even if we are really doing our best in a very congested area, like you mentioned, in the Gaza Strip, there will always be the kind of mistakes that we're talking about.
So are we beyond a two-state solution at this point? Is this an all-or-nothing proposition moving forward for both sides?
You know, that's a very good question, and you're zooming out a second from this tactical event that is happening. People forget that in 2005, Israel was pushed to make a first move of its own in what was called the disengagement plan. We were always told that this is about the occupation. If you guys will withdraw, we will have the Palestinians in Gaza being the next new Singapore. They will invest in R&D, they will invest in education, in healthcare, etc. We did that in 2005. There is no occupation in Gaza. There is no settlers in Gaza. And at the end of the day, what we got in return is 4 cycles of violence, including this one, raining upon our heads. Instead of investing in healthcare and education, in R&D and supporting COVID-19 solutions or healthcare challenges, they invested in R&D, in rockets and in attack tunnels and killing Jews. I don't think that Hamas is serving the interest of the Palestinian innocent civilians there, no doubt in my mind.
Would you like to see the United States or President Biden get more involved?
Yeah, we believe, look, we're looking at the history, and we've seen that peace is possible. We got peace with Egypt, peace with Jordan, peace with the UAE, peace with Bahrain, peace with Morocco. All of it was done with the auspices of a strong U.S. involvement. U.S. President Carter at the time, U.S. President Clinton, U.S. President Trump, in all these events that I've described. So we know today that the differentiation is not between Israelis and Arabs in the Middle East, but rather between radical and moderates. We know that peace is doable. We know that peace is we can make it happen, but we need to make sure that the radicals will not pull us out of the entire opportunity to get there. And I do think that Hamas is a murderous, vicious, radical regime that is not serving the interests of the Palestinian people and obviously not making any progress for them towards a two-state solution.
Aviv Ezra, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me, and pray for the peace in Jerusalem.
Morgan, check the weather.